you been to the area's premier radio-controlled hobby shop and raceway? Underground Raceway and Hobbies in Great Northern Mall has 2 indoor tracks for racing at every experience level. Don't have your own car? No problem. You can rent one from us. When you're ready to get your own, we've got an on-site hobby shop with everything you need, including all the popular brands. Underground Raceway and Hobbies has kits for land, sea, and air. Cars, boats, planes, you name it. Come see us next to Dick's in the Great Northern Mall in Clay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MotoOption Supercross. Out of Marmora, New Jersey, riding for Heckman Productions SYS Racing, number 4, Jeremy Smith. From Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, riding for Adept Creative Co., number 16, Logan Leitzel. From Dallas, Texas, riding for Duncan Racing, number 28, Trevor Byrne. Mattawan, Michigan, riding for Phil's Ski and Snowboard, number 78, Jacob Hubbard. From New Jersey, riding for Underground RC. Number 14, Matthias Janis. From Tampa, Florida, riding for Underground RC. Number 5, Tyler Lang. From Scottsdale, Arizona, riding for Panini Motorsports. Number 51, Payson Johnson. From Shawnigan Lake, Canada, riding for Panini Motorsports. Number 24, Colby Eaglin. From France, riding for Safe Moon, 2018 Supercross champion, number 7, Alexis Leclerc. From Costa Mesa, California, riding for Phil Ski and Snowboard, your defending Supercross champion and current points leader, number 1, Braden Carter.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in. It's round 15 of MotoOption Supercross live here on Start Your Systems. My name is Kellen Brower, and I'm excited to bring you guys the action tonight here at Foxborough. Man, oh man, we only have 3 rounds of this championship left to run this year, and it's gotten kind of crazy here down the stretch. The Atlanta Motor Speedway race last week kind of provided a lot of fireworks for us and tightened up the points races in both the 250 West and East championships, as well as the 450 championship. But of course, we will only see those 250 East riders here tonight racing alongside those 450 class riders. So we're not going to waste too much time. We're going to get right into this championship scenario in this picture here. First off, a quick update for you guys. There is a bit of a delay that we're having right now. The Race Factory crew is working on a timing and scoring issue that they're trying to sort out with the website, but they're hoping to get everything up and running as soon as possible. Just be wary, though. There may be like a 5-minute delay until we get racing started tonight. I apologize in advance if that's going to hinder us from getting racing action started any sooner, but we're going to try to get there as fast as we possibly can. Let's talk about this championship picture, which is incredibly close in this 450 class with 3 rounds, to go. Braden Carter still leads this championship, but it is a lot closer than it was last week. Alexis Leclerc, winning at Atlanta Motor Speedway 1 week ago, closes up to 8 points back of Carter in this championship. And boy, oh boy, this is going to be crazy to see how this comes down the stretch. It's likely one of these two will be a Supercross champion again this year. And for the first time in 5 years, we might have a repeat champion in MotoOption Supercross. Of course, the last time the repeat champion that we saw was Tyson Fresquez in 2016 and 2017. Ever since then, we have had single-year champions all the way up into Braden Carter winning it last year. And now it seems like it's down to Carter versus Leclerc to see who becomes the first 2-time champion between the two of them. Of course, Colby Eaglin, Payson Johnson, Tyler Lang, all have won races, and they are also right in the mix still. But it does seem like Carter and Leclerc are certainly breaking away from the field a little bit here. Let's talk about this 250 East Championship, though. As mentioned, it tightened up a lot at the East-West Showdown because Bryce Whelan was able to come home with the victory last week, while Tyron Tomic struggled quite a bit, actually got a terrible start in the main event and could only manage to get his way up into just inside of the top 10. So he watched a kind of a massive points lead drop down to just 7 points, and suddenly what looked like almost a runaway championship for the Australian has now turned into anything but, as Bryce Whelan has been on fire of late, winning at St. Louis and winning at Atlanta last week as well. So both of these championships are tight, less than 10 points between each of them. Now, there is a caveat where Tomic could still wrap up the championship here tonight with a good ride and a terrible ride for Whelan. Of course, there is only going to be 2 rounds of this East Championship left, if you count this one this evening in Foxborough and the East-West Showdown in 2 weeks' time in Salt Lake City. Other than that, there is only those 2 rounds for these guys to score points anymore. So if you look at Tanner Rogers, Johnny Padani, they are 52 points down. Frank Jackson, Lane Wofford, 53 points down. All those guys have been mathematically eliminated already. So it really is just between Tomic and Whelan for this 250 East title. And as mentioned, just 2 races to get it done. So if Tomic comes out of here with more than a 26-point lead or a 26-point lead and or more after this race is said and done here tonight, he will be your champion as well. We'll be trying to figure out that math throughout the evening program as things get sorted out and figured out there as well. As mentioned, though, we are in a bit of a holding pattern right now because qualifying times haven't fully pulled in yet. I haven't checked to see if they've updated, but it looks like we're not quite there just yet. So we're waiting for these qualifying times to pull in, see who has made the Fast 40. We do have 44 riders signed up in this 450 division, and the 250 East has 40 riders signed up. So we should have full gates in both classes once we do get racing here tonight. But at least for right now, we are in a bit of a holding pattern. So hopefully we'll get going here soon. In the meantime, I can show you guys around this racetrack here tonight in Foxborough. As holy freaking smokes, Travis Marks with a $100 donation. The Marks dog himself coming in hot right from the get-go here tonight in Foxborough, trying to kick things off with a bang. Thanks so much, Travis. Always appreciate that you even stop by and watch these broadcasts when you get the chance to. But the fact that you keep donating this massive amount of cash like you just are a big baller in the business out here means a ton, and really appreciate the continued support from you and everybody that's tuned in here tonight. So thanks, Travis, for kicking us off here tonight with a big donation. All right, let's talk about this racetrack here tonight in Foxborough. It is big, it is technical, and it is actually kind of long for a football stadium. Lap times hovering in the high 50s, low 1 minutes, which of course we've seen some races this year, get as low as mid 40s to low 40s. So kind of cool to see a football stadium produce a long racetrack, but that is exactly what we have here tonight. The rhythm sections are very tall, peaky, and technical. Got a tricky whoop section into a 3.53 before the finish line jump right here. This finish line jump is nice and burly. Guys will get whipped out over that. And then you kind of come diagonal across this start straight into this berm right here. I think we're going to see some block passing in that corner right there because it definitely sets up for it. Got a Supercross triple, then a big double over the first turn complex, then some split options right here. You're going to see guys going inside. Some guys will jump onto this table and jump off and then quad double into the corner like I did on my hot lap earlier. Some guys will like to roll and then quad in, and then you're kind of able to either quad single after that or step over table double into the corner. A couple different options presented through that. The tricky line through here is jumping into these rollers, hopping out of them, and then tripling off of these jumps, and then quadding into the corner right here. And definitely some guys will want to try to hit this inside line, still double out of the inside right there into this Supercross triple. not doing my best job of showing off the track right here as we jump off the track. There is also a massive line through this rhythm section. If guys are able to triple in, it is possible to triple quad 5. I personally cannot do it, but we have heard of a couple riders in qualifying here tonight already getting it done. So we'll see if that also comes up as a possibility. Of course, we've known Payson Johnson many times over this year to bust out the big lines, not only in qualifying, but in race form as well. So maybe we'll see it from the fast man on that Panini Motorsports Yamaha number 51 a little bit later here tonight. So that's what the track looks like. And we're getting ready to go racing here any minute now. So it looks like just got an update from Tyler Lang, who is, of course, running the races here tonight. He says, problem fixed, good to go in 10 minutes. So it looks like they're adding on just a little bit more to qualifying. Me just dropping my controller. But adding a little bit more to qualifying here. So that actually makes me want to go check out qualifying if we can. So let's go ahead, take a look at some qualifying servers, see what we can get pulled up, and see if there's anything good to go take a look at. Because might get a chance to see some of these big lines being busted out. So we'll go to our events page here, pull up some qualifying servers if we can, if we so choose, and take a look at what's going on here. I think we're going to take a look at the O2 lobby. If we can. Let's see if I got any of them readily available. That's a Flowtech in MXS lobby. There we go. And let's go to O2. Take a look and see who's in here qualifying. And yeah, again, thank you so much, Travis Marks, for that. Oh, I am the only one in O2. So I guess we will move down the line here and check out O3. See if anybody's in these servers, or did I just leave the server by mistake and I was meant to be in that main server still. We're loading bikes, though, so that's a good sign. I think there's going to be some people here in O3. Who's doing laps around here? We got Justin Alvarado. Justin Alvarado here in O3. Who's in O4? This is why I don't film or do qualifying shows, though, folks, because we have to jump around between 8 different servers and find where people are. And right now, nobody is in these servers because I don't think they expected to have 10 minutes added on to qualifying. But, well, maybe they... Yeah, I just don't think anybody expected to have 10 minutes added on to qualifying. So let's go back to the race server because it seems like where everybody's hanging out. And we'll jump back in studio and hang out with you fine people. So how's it going, everybody, tonight? Tuning in and watching live wherever you are in the world. Hopefully you're having a good evening. Wanted to actually take this time right now, might as well, give a shout out to MX Locker, the marketplace for motocross, for sponsoring the stream here tonight and hooking me up with a little bit of fun garb here to show off for you guys. Nick Tomasunis, of course, over there at MX Locker. Talked to him many times before, and of course, he also races here in the MotoOption Supercross series. Just reached out to me, said it'd be cool to kind of back the stream a little bit here. So, yeah, sent me some cool stuff. So, MX Locker, you guys could check it out for yourself. They got some, brand stuff that you guys can check out and rep this shirt, rep this hat, or whatever. But also, cool thing about MX Locker is it's kind of like Facebook Marketplace, but for motocross, right? It's a place where people buy and sell their kind of used items. Some people just have fresh out of the box items as well. Maybe they built a bike up and something and they want to sell it on that place as well. So it's a little bit like Craigslist as well, but it's specifically for motocross. So it's definitely a good place to check out if you're trying to find some good deals on some stuff. Maybe you're looking for, the hot, Alpine Stars boot out there or something like that. Maybe someone is selling it on mxlocker.com. So thanks to them for backing the stream. Always appreciate the support that they have. And shout out to Nick Tomasunis again for sending this stuff out to me. So, no update yet from T-Lang. I think we're all just kind of waiting, get everything dialed in. Let's actually take a look and see if qualifying times have indeed already pulled in or if they're still working on actually pulling those up on the website. Yeah, here we go. All right, we got qualifying times. So let's take a look at what we got right here. We'll zoom in a little bit and take a look. So, looks like Payson Johnson has gone fastest here tonight. No surprise whatsoever. 55.445. A whole second faster than Jeremy Seabolt. Jack Haley also up there in the mix. Colby Eaglin, Braden Carter. It's close. Everybody back of Seabolt is within, a half second of each other down to Leitzel in 7th. But you can see Johnson clearly has something figured out on this racetrack. I'd have to imagine maybe he was able to get that 3.45 down the long rhythm section on his lap because whole second faster, kind of incredible. Now, Where is Alexis Leclerc? Down in 12th here tonight. So 57.3 out of the Frenchman. Not too bad. He's only, 0.8 off of Siebel's second fastest lap time, which we're kind of looking at it as a bit of a realistic benchmark here. But Leclerc obviously a little bit off the pace. Going to have to try to figure out some stuff in race trim. Now in the 250 East division, 58 flat for Tanner Rogers. So he's gone 0.4 faster than Cade Matherly there. Bryce Whelan also in the mix, last week's winner. And then Tomic, of course, right behind Whelan, only 2/100ths of a second behind Whelan in time right there. So good to see our two title combatants in this 250 East division basically right on top of each other there. It's going to be good to see kind of how they match up when they get into race trim and see who has that race pace. But in terms of qualifying pace, they are pretty much dead even. Johnny Padani rounding out our top 5 right there, and everybody right there in the 58s down to John Heilman on a 59.125 in 7th. So we got qualifying times up. Looks like we should be getting ready to go here pretty soon. So yeah, we will rock it. UID grab must have just happened by the looks of it. So in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and roll around a few slow laps on this racetrack, talk to you guys a little bit more about some of the options here. First off, just go straight into the first turn here, go over the backside of this lander, and this is the alternate option right here. You jump right here and then quad, then you can quad again. Don't know if it's possible if you downside that first quad to 5 into the corner, and then obviously this line is the way to go right here. Hop into the pocket, hop out, triple. And then, honestly, this quad right here is pretty easy. It's really poppy to get you over that quad into the corner. Out of this corner, you double, hit this Supercross triple. And then I believe the race line that you're going to see right here is inside, double in. Oh, got it a little bit wrong, but double. Then triple quad into the corner. I think if you triple quad, you end up kind of off rhythm and ending up having to go table over single into the corner, which is kind of pitches you a little bit too high. I do think we'll see a lot of guys trying to triple in from the outside, but I think most of the time the race line will go to that inside line. Like I said, you can triple in here from the outside, and some guys are able to get all the way over that quad right there, but man, you have really got to be barking through that corner to get through and quad that jump all the way down that rhythm section. Out of this corner, though, this whip section is kind of big and tricky this week. I feel like it's going to be tough to really get on top of them and stay set on top of them. But once you do and maybe get about halfway through, you should be good to go. But the problem is you have to carry momentum all the way through because there's a 353 triple right after it. So I think guys are going to struggle keeping that momentum up all the way through the whoops. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see if anything happens differently. All right, so how is it going in the chat right now? Am I missing out on anything? How much for that Chad Reed lunchbox? I think I will be selling this. It's kind of sentimental to me. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it, though. Pop it open. It has got just basically my career in media in here. It's got all of my media credentials. Yeah, I mean, it's literally jam-packed with media credentials. So, little sentimental to me. I don't think I'll be selling it. Honestly, now that I've taken everything out again, it's probably not going to fit back in the box. So, but this Chad Reed lunchbox, my wife actually bought it for me when we had just started dating back in high school, because she knew I was into motocross, and she came across it on, man, I want to say eBay or something like that. And, Chad Reed was a big deal at the time. This is a little bit of an older version of Chad Reed than what he was at that specific time when we started dating, which was back in 2009. But always really liked this lunchbox. It's just a really cool kind of memento. And, yeah, Chad Reed lunchbox. It's not signed or anything. Maybe I'll get it signed someday, but don't really have any intentions, at least for right now, to get rid of it. So, yeah. Any thoughts on Jeff Walker coming to Supercross next season? Yeah, that's awesome. Jeff Walker's a great guy. Supercross is always tough. So, I know that he's kind of had his struggles with it, trying to dial it in, but I think that it is something that he can learn and figure out. And I'm really excited to see how he does adapting to that change, because he's a great motocross rider, no question about it. But, Supercross is a different beast. And as he learned through some of his vlogs at the end of 2020, I think it was, yeah, it's tough to get a grip on it. So, looking forward to it. Hopefully he does well. How old am I? I'm 29. Predictions for this weekend, says Casey Simons. Shoot, I don't know. I say Tomac wraps it up. Jet wraps it up. And Neither of them win. I'll go Sexton 450. And Faulkner 250. Let's jump off the wall here a little bit with some wild picks while we're at it. All right, T-Lang jumping in to say sorry for the delay, but I think we're all good there. No big deal. All right, so the 250 Heat 1 is on the track, so we're going to jump back in the live screen here and make sure we have our proper moto names displayed. 250 Heat number 1 coming to the line. So there we go. Tell you about who's in this heat race coming up as well. Dylan Love, Cody Senega, we got Zach Fisher, Jason Stubbs, Blake Franklin, Tristan Powell, Hayden Speck, Ethan Gerst, Austin Bridges, Christopher McPherson, Brandon Holmes, Ryan Fleming, Noah McLaughlin, Anna Rogers, Nathan McLaughlin, Bodie Parker, Bryce Whelan, John Heilman, and Lane Wofford. So there is last week's big winner, Bryce Whelan, trying to keep the ball rolling. Well, the reason I said Faulkner might win this weekend is because I think Jet, similar to what you saw at the end of Pro Motocross, is going to be so much in like, I need to clinch, I need to focus on the championship mode, that he is not going to ride over his head to win the race. That's why I think Tomac won't win this weekend either. So that's why I was picking Faulkner, but we'll see. Maybe things get shaked up and Jet still comes out on top. All right, we are set and ready to go racing here tonight in Foxborough. Starting off with 250 Heat 1. Let's drop the gate. No surprise to see Whelan up the inside to the first corner, grabbing the hole shot, going over table right there. He's a little bit off rhythm right here. And Johnny Padani to the outside might take over the race lead. Whelan pulls up alongside, but it's Padani on the 180 Underground RC Suzuki going to the front. By the way, shout out to Cody M for the $5 donation. It says Johnny Padani and Frank Jackson for the top 5 tonight. So he's definitely stoked to see his man, Johnny Padani, the rider out of Hungary, on this Underground RC Suzuki, out leading early on here in Foxborough. It is Whelan who has settled into that second place. Right behind him on the 45, Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda and his teammate, number 44, John Heilman, right there in third as they go through the whoops. You can see those whoops. Those guys are really hopping through, and a battle for the lead is brewing. Padani and Whelan went back and forth right there. Padani looks like he maybe didn't get that triple after the whoops clean. Holding on to the race lead for the time being, but Whelan certainly putting some pressure on him. It is go time at this point for Whelan. He has got to do everything he can to try to win this title, and he does a nice job to take over the race lead here in the heat race. Quad to the outside, right past Padani, and takes it over. And we're seeing these 250 guys early on electing to do that double line into this rhythm section, go over those little rollers and then carry on through the rest of the rhythm instead of jumping into the rollers as a means of carrying through that rhythm section. I think we're going to see that line develop a little bit more in this heat race for these guys as they figure it out. But right now, Whelan has got the lead. Padani not wanting to let the 45 machine go as they hit the whoops. You're seeing each of these guys having the rear end step out a couple times there in that whoop section. Up and over that finish line jump they go. On to the third lap of the race. Remember, they are going for 6 minutes plus a single lap, with the top 9 riders transferring through into the main event out of this one. So we are still yet to even the halfway point of this heat race, as now Padani finally figures out the option he was trying to go for right there. But I honestly believe that Whelan's line looked a little bit faster. Here's Padani with the jump in line, but still not going far enough to get the option he was hoping for right there. So Whelan now establishing a little bit of breathing room out front, but can't take too big of a breath just yet because Padani is lurking, as is Heilman, and the front 3 have certainly broken away from the rest of the field. Shout out to King Rider, by the way, for the $5 donation. Love the sim streams, Kellen. Been watching since 2015 and 14 years old. Keep up the amazing work, man. Well, shout out to you, King Rider, for watching all of the racing action over the years and continuing to support the channel. So thank you so much for always being there, lively in the chat, having a good time, and shout out again for that donation. So thanks so much. All right, our top 3, as mentioned, have separated a bit. It's Rogers right now in 4th as Wofford rounds out the top 5 with Ethan Gerst right behind him in 6th. But Gerst is going to shoot by into that 5 spot as Wofford missed the double over that first turn complex. Back to 7th, Buddy Parker. Full throttle number 990 machine holding on to P7 right now with Brandon Holmes in 8th right behind him. Parker just went down though, so McLaughlin also going to go by. Parker trying to get going before he loses that final transfer spot, but it doesn't matter. Tristan Powell on the VSR Honda goes on through, and now Buddy Parker going to have to fight back, try to take that position back away from Powell as Powell's making a couple mistakes in his own right, and suddenly this battle for the final transfer spot is on. Oh, short on that triple mid-rhythm for Powell, and here comes Parker up the inside. Nice job defending there by Powell as they both were going for that inside line in the corner. There's the hops through the whoops though, and Powell is not going to triple into the corner. That allows Parker through. So less than a lap after he crashed out of a transfer spot, Buddy Parker is back through into that 9th and final position, which would see him going to the main event. Uh-oh, Tanner Rogers just went down. He was in 5th. He will remount behind Gerst and Wofford. Just Gerst. Actually, maybe he did retain 5th. Got to see. Yeah, he's still in 5th, actually. So he was in 4th, excuse me, as Heilman through the whoops. There was a rider down, but it was not Padani. Padani still holding on to that 2nd position, tailing Bryce Whelan, but Whelan out front. 1 minute left on the clock here, 58.8 last time through. Still electing to go left quad and quad again through this first section. Working well for these 250 guys, but we'll see whether or not anybody's able to figure out something else in the 450 class. But Whelan is looking very solid in his heat race. There's a triple quad right there. And using that little lip on the inside to hop the double from that inside line. Down the inside here, he's going to go 2, 3, back up again to do another 3, and then pop the 4 into the corner here. Oh, a little short right there. Ryder was down on top of the table, but Whelan just hopped right over him. Get on top of these whoops and carry some momentum through. Triple into the corner before the finish line. Jump right here. That's a quick lap on board with Bryce Whelan as he lays down another 58.5. So time is about to expire. 5 seconds left on the clock, which means 2 laps to go currently. White flag will wave next time by. Donnie there, still in 2nd, lurking behind Whelan, but Heilman has gone down and lost quite a bit of time now. No longer right behind Padani, so it's Gerst that is starting to close up onto Heilman for 3rd place. With Wofford right behind Gerst in 5th. And these 3 are perhaps settling into a battle for that 3rd position. Brandon Holmes and Tristan Powell behind them in 6th and 7th. Tanner Rogers now in 8th. And Noah McLaughlin is in the final transfer spot in 9th. So Caden Speck has got some work to do here with 2 to go. Got to make something happen on his EVP Yamaha. Oh, Speck jumping onto that table, I should say. Almost coming up short. Really pushing the envelope, trying to close up here on Noah McLaughlin. McLaughlin going for the 3-3 out of this rhythm section. 0.5 seconds is that gap. White flag is out for our leaders, but the transfer position battle starting to tighten up here as Speck goes through the front door, barrel rolls, and he lands it, keeps it on 2 wheels for the time being, but Buddy Parker is going to shoot by. Oh, and Rogers was down. Tanner Rogers getting up from a crash in the corner here before the whoops. So Parker threw into the final transfer spot. But something tells me this is not done yet as Rogers almost gets lit up right there by Speck before the finish line jump. They are battling for 10th. Meanwhile, through the whoops one more time. Perfect way to kick off a night after winning last week in Atlanta. Bryce Whelan takes 250 Heat 1 here in Foxborough. Through the whoops in 2nd, Johnny Padani will likely hang on to that position. John Heilman 3rd the entire race and will stay there. Lane Wofford moves to 4th. Ethan Gerst up to 5th. Brandon Holmes in 6th. Noah McLaughlin running 7th. Tristan Powell in 8th. And Buddy Parker is in the final transfer spot. Tanner Rogers looks like he has slipped off this group, and now it just lies in the hands of Caden Speck trying to make something happen here. Will anybody go down in front of Parker, or will Parker himself make a mistake? Likes to go on off, excuse me, right there at the end of that rhythm section. Very smooth atop the whoops there at the end. In and out of the last corner, and boom, through into ninth. All right, cuts have now come in, and Caden Speck will miss out. Noah McLaughlin loses a spot back to ninth, but the rest of the top 9 will remain steady as they all transfer to the main event, but it's Bryce Whelan who comes out on top here in 250 heat number 1. Quick shout out to Carlos67. $2 donation says, "Hey Kellen, love the streams, man. Keep it up." Well, thank you so much, Carlos, for the support and the donation. All right, 250 heat 1 in the books, 250 heat 2 coming up next. And in this second heat race, we should see our championship leader, Tyron Tomic. Interesting of Tomic as well, earlier in the season, had said that he was not going to be able to make it to all of the rounds this year. Scheduling wise wasn't going to work out for him down there in Australia. Of course, in Australia right now, it's about midday, probably just after noon. So for him, it's kind of prime working time on a Thursday afternoon in Australia, or school or what have you. So totally understandable if he couldn't make all the rounds. But so far, he has made it to every single one, trying to win this championship. Looked for a little bit there like he was going to maybe be able to even miss a round and still win the title. But of course, Whelan has clawed this thing back to just 7 points down. And Tomic really has to go on the defense here in these last 2 rounds to try to claim this championship. So we will see now what comes of it in Foxborough. Give you a whole rundown of who is on the line for 250 heat number 2 here coming up. And a shout out to all 219 live viewers here tonight joining in on the fun and watching all of this fantastic action in MotoOption Supercross. Round 15 made it this deep into the season. Still got these 3 rounds left to go. And then, of course, a little bit of a hiatus before outdoors starts towards the end of May. We hope to see you guys there as well. All right, on the gate for this second heat race, we have got Frank Jackson, Austin Bear, Braden Tharp, Jake Fisher, Brett Thomas, Luke Fauser, Jeff Fafa, Evan Holt, Seth Carr, Timmy Briscoe, Cade Matherly, Trent Adams, Carson West, Nick Tomasunis, the man himself, Chase Blakely, Brett Powers, Dane Stevenson, and your championship leader, Tyron Tomic. So it's crunch time. Whelan has won his heat race. Tomic has to respond right here. Got to line himself up with a good gate selection as well for that main event. We'll see whether or not he can get it done in this heat race. 6 minutes plus that single lap. Top 9 riders transfer to the main event. So if you're Tomic here, the absolute last thing you want to do is go to the LCQ. We'll see if he can make it happen right here. He's right stern down the inside of the starting gate. Here we go. 250 heat 2 right now in Foxborough. Well, not the best jump for Tomic. He's going to have to shut off early, but he might sneak around the inside. No. Going to end up pretty rough coming out. It is Tharp of the 53 Adept Creative Co. Yamaha who rips the whole shot. Leading the way from Frank Jackson, Chase Blakely up front as well. Hayden Stevenson and Tomic ends up coming out in 5th position. So not all bad in the end. Someone over the bar is heavy in the background, and Tomic going to scoop by Matherly up the inside there into... Wow, made a couple quick passes, and he's already up to 2nd, so clearly wasting little time. Wants to go into this race lead, does the Australian. Got around Frank Jackson. A couple riders went down in the early runnings there, but it will be Braden Tharp who ends up leading the first full lap here. Tharp on that 53 Adept Yamaha. Up and down season so far for Tharp, but he could turn it around in a big way with a victory here tonight in Foxborough. Tomic doesn't want to let the 53 machine get too far out in front here. Trying to close that gap down, and Frank Jackson on the 32 also keeping Tomic honest in the early runnings here. None of these 250 guys really have this section dialed, it seems, and Tomic is going to go down. Cased a triple and then got ran into by Frank Jackson. So he's going to lose 5 positions in the end of it by the looks of it. Ends up behind the 70 there of Austin Bear. Fortunately still in a transfer spot just ahead there of Chase Blakely on the 21. Hayden Stevenson went by. I believe this is Jeff Giffen on the 51. Trent Adams went through as well. Frank Jackson, we saw him go by. And Tharp continues to lead the race. So 2 minutes down, 4 minutes and a lap left to go. And suddenly, Tomic has a little bit of work to do. Got to get his way back to the front. So Austin Bear now inside the top 5. Carson West in 6th. Tyron Tomic behind West, now in 7th. iSpec, by the way, had a few updates earlier today. And I downloaded all of them, but somehow did not end up with Carson West's skin some way, somehow. So apologies to the iSpec folks. I'm trying. You guys sent me a couple of different downloads today. I tried all of them, but maybe I was missing a file or something along the lines. So on board with Tomic here. Goes for the quad and lands on West and goes down. Oh no, Tomic is down and he gets hit by Cade Matherly. Chase Blakely coming in hot. That actually may save Tomic a little bit because so many riders just went down. He's going to split the difference here over the Supercross triple and works his way back into 10th. Not working out the way Tomic wanted whatsoever so far in this heat race. He still has half of the race left to go. Down the inside, going to move back into 9th place right behind Hayden Stevenson there in 8th. So he's back in a transfer spot, but boy, you do not want to be sitting on the bubble right now, especially after the few mistakes Tomic has made thus far. Trying to maybe line up something on Hayden Stevenson. Going to follow him into this rhythm section here. Over that table, down to the inside, and up into P8 goes Tyron Tomic. So next up for him would be Luke Fauser. You also have Nick Tomasunis, Austin Bear, Jeff Giffen, Trent Adams, with Frank Jackson still in 2nd. Braden Tharp continues to be our race leader here with 2 minutes left on the clock. And talked a few laps ago about Tharp and how much it would mean if he could get a win here tonight. Well, so far so good in this heat race. A little mistake right there, but he will rectify that quickly and get right back on rhythm through the first section. So it looks like these guys, what they're doing in this rhythm right here, Tharp didn't hit the main line everybody's been hitting, but they kind of jumped to the first roller in a sequence of 4 out of that corner. Then they'll like triple the rollers after that, then triple double or triple quad single into the corner. I believe we will see a different line option that the 450 guys will be taking through that rhythm section. I wonder if it's just these 250 guys to pop all the way to the second roller is a bit too much of a stretch to do it consistently. So look for that in the 450 class coming up. Meanwhile, Braden Tharp continuing to lead the race here. 1 minute remains on the clock. Frank Jackson starting to close that gap down a little bit. 59.3 last time by for the Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda rider. Putting in some solid times and has this gap down to 1.7 as he cases the big double over the start straight right here. Crucially doing this different line right here as well and busting the quad. Closes that lap down just a little bit more. So there you go. He jumps onto that first roller, triples again, and does he go for the quad? No, just triple double into the corner here. Well, actually, without trying, almost went for the quad. So 2 seconds remain in it between these guys. All right, back to the final transfer spot. Austin Bear is in it. Brett Powers is outside looking in with Chase Blakely right behind him. Austin Bear trying to make a pass in his own right. We got riders down, so Powers is going to shoot up into 8th spot, I believe. Blakely now goes to 9th, but he's going to go down. So Bear, I believe, gets back into the transfer spot, but Tomic is now down. So Tomic picks it up alongside Fauser, who is momentarily going to take the position, but Tomic goes back by. Blakely now right behind Tomic. So Tomic is indeed in the final transfer spot. Time has expired, but the race leaders have already checked in out front, so this is coming to 2 to go right now for Tomic, unless they were to get lapped, but they have a long ways before that would happen. So now, bit of the danger zone here for the Australian. He's got some good, talented riders still closing up behind him, although it looks like Blakely may have just gone down after the whoops, and that is really going to help out this Connect Visual number 42 machine, trying to get away. Going to jump up alongside Austin Bear here through this first rhythm section and make the pass stick on the 70. Oh, almost short there for Tomic. Still busting the quad single to the inside. Seems to be desperate to make passes right now. Has to check up and double the Supercross triple carefully. Doesn't get landed on by Bear, who had to go off the track to avoid him. That's going to allow Cade Matherly into the final transfer spot. Now Austin Bear tripling through this rhythm section, trying to fight back. Not able to quad into the corner, though, based off of the timing that he was in there. Now Matherly sitting on the bubble. Doesn't get the whoops very clean, and Tomic just went down. Oh, dear. Our championship leader upside down at the end of the whoops. So Bear just went down again. That's going to allow Tomic to get back into 11th. But he has got to get up to Jake Fisher right here to transfer. Oh, man. Wow, Fisher goes down. So now Carson West on the bubble. Meanwhile, out front, battle to the flag between Jackson and Tharp. Oh, Jackson goes down. Tharp takes over the lead. And Braden Tharp wins 250 heat number 2. Frank Jackson throws it away right at the flag there. He will end up in 2nd, though. Jeff Giffen will get 3rd, Adams in 4th, and Thomas Sunis rounding out our top 5. Hayden Stevenson 6th, Brett Powers 7th. Here's Matherly in 8th, and Carson West in 9th. Tomic has got to get around the 486 to go to the main event. The 42 of our championship leader is absolutely sending West through the whoops one more time. Kind of hops a little bit. We got a rider down at Stevenson. Tomic jumps over Stevenson to the outside. And Tomic, just by the skin of his teeth, goes to the main event. Wow, and Stevenson went down coming to the flag as well, so it's a 6-second gap back to Austin Bear. And Tomic, count your lucky stars, sunshine, doesn't have to go to the LCQ. Wow. So Stevenson, Fisher, Blakely, Holt, Briscoe, Fauser, Carr, Thomas will be going to the LCQ. Cuts are in, and Tomic confirmed going through in P9. Whew. Well, Tharp picks up the dub in 250 Heat 2, setting himself up great for the main event. Of course, now, if you're Tyron Tomic, not a great gate selection and not a great heat race. That is going to be a big uphill battle going into the main event, but at the very least, he doesn't have to go to that last chance qualifier. Well, things have already kicked off a little bit here tonight in Foxborough, and we have not even got to the big boys. 450 Heat 1 coming up next. We'll see some mixture of Alexis Leclerc, Braden Carter, Colby Eaglin, Payson Johnson, Tyler Lang, Matthias Janis, and the rest of the field going to the line for these heat races. Of course, your fastest qualifier by over a second tonight was the number 51 machine of Payson Johnson. So clearly he's doing some big lines we're looking forward to seeing in these heat races coming up here in just a few moments. But Johnson leads the field to the heat races here tonight in Foxborough. Well, we're just getting started here tonight, folks. 2 races down of the 8 that we have scheduled here for you tonight. We're currently on 450 Heat 1 coming up next. 450 Heat 2 would follow, followed by the last chance qualifiers, 250 LCQ and 450 LCQ. Those are always fun to watch. And then our 2 main events where it all matters. The points are paid out for the 250 East and 450 SX classes coming up here in about an hour's time. All right, so on the gate for the upcoming 450 Heat number 1, Chris Post, Caleb Hall, Logan Leitzel, Braden Carter, the defending champion and points leader, Aaron Rockefeller, Payson Johnson, with a new I-Spec ride this week for the 51 machine, Casey Ohlert, Trevor Burns, Alex Heckman, Jaden Wilson, Jack Haley, Matt Cromie, Byron Downan's here tonight, folks, the 2014 champ in the building, Alec Horn, Alexis Leclerc, Holden Cody, Casey Cochran, and Braden Castellaneta. This should be a fun one. Johnson, Carter, and Leclerc all in the same heat. It'll be a lot of fun to watch. I don't know what the cost is to get a title sponsorship deal with Logan Carnow. Be interesting to know, but I don't imagine it's something as cheap as you guys maybe think it is. But Dirt Bikes and Disc Golf asking how much does Start Your Systems need to raise to be a title sponsor for Logan Carnow for one of his final SX rounds? I'll ask him, I guess. Yeah, I'll reach out. Just to ask, I suppose. As mentioned, though, this heat race should be a lot of fun. Leclerc coming off the big win last week in Atlanta, feeling the flow. Jack Haley. Folks, right here in this race, we have 3 former 450 Supercross champions in Braden Carter, Byron Downen, and Alexis Leclerc. So this should be very, very exciting to watch. Of course, all comes down to getting that start, and Leclerc is very good at them. Who gets a whole shot? 450 Heat 1 right now. Land rush into the first corner. Leclerc gets there first, but Carter's trying to cut back up underneath. It's Jack Haley who gets the whole shot, but Leclerc triples around the outside and takes the race lead. Somebody got absolutely tossed like a wet salad in the background, but it's Leclerc leading from Heckman and Haley as a huge pileup in that second turn. I believe it may have involved Braden Carter. No, Carter was one of the riders down in the first rhythm section, so Carter well down the order right here. Has to go to work early, make some quick passes as he's jumping over a few riders down in that first rhythm lane. Leclerc leads through the whoops here on lap number 1. Big, challenging whoops, even for those 450 guys. Leclerc leading the first lap. Haley, Heckman, Johnson, French, Horn, Cody, Downen, and Trevor Burns inside of the transfer spots early. So all 3 of those, there's 4 former Supercross champions on the line. Downen, the 2014 champ, a few spots up to Jack Haley, the 2019 champ, and then our 2018 champ, Alexis Leclerc, leads the race right here. He's off the side of the track right there. Did he go for the quad still? He did, but he shorted it pretty bad. So Haley's going to close that gap down. Everybody electing to go 2, 3, 3, 4 through that rhythm section right there. Haven't really seen anybody try to bust out the big lines, but maybe Johnson just tried in the background and messed it up. He went down. So Heckman going to move up into third. Battle for the lead kind of brewing here. Jack Haley looking like the Haley of the 2019 season when he beat Alexis Leclerc in Leclerc's title defense back then to win the 2019 Supercross Championship. Going after the Frenchman here in this heat race. Split options, Leclerc left side, quad single. Haley jump on off quad double. And here's those option lines. So you go into the rollers, over that first single, triple quad to the inside. Incredible stuff that these guys on 450s are able to do. And then you can see right here, everybody going inside 2, 3. You got to check up one more time to 3. Downside it well enough to quad into the corner, which Leclerc does not get. So Haley, another little bonus right there. Leclerc cutting down early in that corner. It's still close at the front, but it seems like Leclerc has a bit more pace in hand between the two of them. Battle for third. Heckman still holding steady with Holden Cody. Proline Designs 381 machine pushing up behind the 292 SYS Racing Heckman Productions Honda. And Cody down the inside into this berm should get that pass done, and he will, as Heckman actually jumped off the track. Oh, he's going to get stuck in the Doblos bales with that track re-entry. Mason Johnson, Dakota French went by. Let's stick with Johnson here for a minute, see if he's doing anything crazy different. I have to imagine that long rhythm section is where Johnson's trying to bust something huge. So nothing really different here. Looked like he was trying to jump to the same spot in the rollers and got it wrong. Down the inside here, going to make a pass. Here's where I'm curious. Is he going to go to the outside or go to the inside? Goes to the outside. So, do we see it? Triple. And no, just triple again. And then he'll triple one more time, or actually just double on off. I believe he's going 3-4-5, though, on some laps. Just want to see if we catch him doing it at least once in this heat race. Dakota French, Logan Leitzel, Byron Downen, Alex Heckman, and Casey Ohlert rounding out our transfer spots. So, where is the points leader? Braden Carter back here in 15th position with 2 minutes left on the clock and a big hill to climb. Could we see the champ go to the last chance qualifier here tonight in Foxborough? 57.9 last time by, up to 13th spot now. Five seconds down of Matt Cromie ahead of him, but this is a position he needs to get to. Casey Ohlert right here, who is maybe going to pass Alex Heckman, just jumping on the track in front of him. Back to Johnson, still not able to get the line that he wants right there. Whoa, doing something peculiar right there, though. I'll have to go back and see if he does that again next time by, because he's doing something I have not seen someone do consistently, maybe ever, because it is almost an instant legs off crash if you get it wrong. By the way, new leader Jack Haley has taken over the point here. 2.7 second lead on Leclerc now, so it must have just been either a tip over for Leclerc, or perhaps Haley just put down a few burners, made a pass and got away. Either way, the two out front. And gonna have a few more laps to go here. Oh, but he just got that wrong big time. Gonna have to roll every single jump of this Supercross triple. Painfully slow, and Leclerc suddenly gonna be right behind him. As Holden Cody also sitting right here. So what is Johnson doing right here? He's gonna triple in, triple again, and then watch. Let's see if he does this. Yeah, he's gonna tire tap that single onto a table off, and no question that is why he crashed the first time we saw him in that corner. That line is ridiculous to think you can do that consistently. To tire tap a 3-foot single off of a triple. Sometimes Johnson's brain works a little bit different than the rest of us out here, I suppose. Kind of crazy, though. Back to Haley out front. Time has expired. Leclerc lurking back here on the 7. Oh, and he goes down huge through the first rhythm section. Holden Cody goes by for second. Trevor Burns hopping over as a lapped rider, and here comes Mason Johnson down the inside. We'll see if the 51 machine does that same ridiculous line he's doing through here, or is he able to bust out the triple quad just yet? Oh, there it is, triple quad. Oh, man, that's big. Gonna have to step on, step off at the end because he couldn't quite downside it well enough to go for the 5. But the 3-4 alone is ridiculous. So Haley out front. Go back to a Carter check-in. He's right behind Castellaneta and Cromie. He is in 13th. Trying to make a couple more passes right here. Maybe get into 11th and just hope something happens in front of him. He's going to go to 12th right there. Now try to get a drive down the inside of Castellaneta, and the whoops, they're rubbing number plates as they hit the triple. And somehow Carter pulled that off to go to 11th. But he has to get to here. Alec Horn, 2 straightaways ahead, looking unlikely at this point. Meanwhile, Haley off the side of the track as your race leader coming down to the flag here. Gonna nail the quad into the corner. Johnson not able to get the quad this time either, so we'll have to wait and see if he gets it in the main event. But Jack Haley picks up 450 heat number 1 in Foxborough. Cody, Johnson, Leitzel, Leclerc, top 5, French, Horn, Nygren, Heckman right now are the transfer spots. And Carter is pushing. Alex Heckman stands between Braden Carter and the main event right here with 2 turns left to go. It's going to come down to the whoops. Heckman's been struggling. Let's see if he gets him. Gets on top, kind of bouncing. Carter's got a ridiculous run. There was a rider down. It's Alec Horn. So Carter goes through, gets into 8th, makes the main event. Alex Heckman goes to his first 450 main event of the season. Alec Horn goes down on the last straightaway, misses out, as does Castellaneta. Cromie, Post, Cochran, Rockefeller, Burns, Hall, Downen, Ollert, Wilson also going to the last chance qualifier. Incredible stuff, though, by Carter, who ran a 56.6 on his last lap to make that happen, which was the fastest lap of this heat race. Wow. Crazy, crazy stuff there in the end, and kudos to Carter for being able to pull that off. But we will have to wait on cuts because he is only about 1.8 seconds ahead of Alec Horn, and he does hold on. So Carter goes through in 8th. Heckman makes his first 450 main event of the season in 9th, and Jack Haley picks up the heat race victory here tonight in Foxborough. Well, that was fun. That featured a very talented group of riders in that one. So, coming up next, we should see Colby Eagland, Tyler Lang, Matthias Janis, and the rest of the field going to the line for 450 heat number 2. We'll see what happens in their heat race. Again, shout out to everybody tuned in tonight. 309 live viewers. So great to have you guys joining us every single week on these broadcasts. It always makes it a lot more, fun for me as a broadcaster to have a live chat that's always so involved like you guys are. So really, really do appreciate it so much that you guys show up, have some good discussion in the chat room every single week. And I really appreciate it. It's just here for me. Oh, man. So sweet, Roto. Ah, man. Thoughts on the Warriors? Honestly, I mean, I wish I could be more into basketball, but it just doesn't do it for me, really. I grew up playing baseball, was always into baseball more, watched baseball religiously, so because of that and my time dedicated to moto and stuff like that, I just never really got into basketball. But I mean, I think it's awesome that people are super into it, but I'm not really into it myself. All right, T. Lang, Jeremy Siebel, Dylan Cavacuti, Alex Kerr, Ethan Parks, Devin Davis, Nick Sellen, Daniel Mills, Seth Shirley, Tyler Shields, Rasmus Balzer, Jacob Hubbard, Bob Joe, Jeremy Smith, Charles Gable, Matthias Janis, Yannick Schroeder, Chase Donovan, and Jeff Cooper going to the line here for 450 Heat 2. Yeah, big fan of the Dodgers. All right, here we go. Time for the second and final 450 heat race of the night. Let's drop the gate again in Foxborough. Wow. Couple riders flipping into the first corner, but coming through, it's Jacob Hubbard who picks up the whole shot. Jeremy Smith was there in second, but it'll be Nick Sellen coming through. And boy, oh boy, you want to talk about absolute heartbreak. Nick Sellen, the last 2 weeks, has been winning a main event on the penultimate lap and crashed it away, and winning a main event on the final lap and crashed it away in consecutive weeks, looking for his first career MotoOption Supercross race victory. Boy, oh boy, if it doesn't come tonight, it's going to hurt, because it has been brewing these last few weeks for the German. And I just feel like it's reaching a bit of a tipping point. Will we see Sellen at the top step of the podium here tonight in Foxborough? I think a lot of people would be stoked to see that happen, but right now it is Hubbard leading this heat race. So Hubbard from Sellen, Jeremy Smith up there in third, Daniel Mills right behind him in fourth, Bob Joe in fifth, with Colby Eaglin in sixth. Let's see if this line works here. I want to see this split. So Bob Joe goes over double into the corner. Eaglin, you know, I think that left side is just faster. It didn't look like Bob Joe got anything really wildly wrong or slow. Eaglin kind of did the line as normal as well, and he made the pass. I think that's a heads up to all racers out there right now that might be watching this stream. Go to the left after the double over the start straight. You want to go 4-4-1 there instead of on-off 4-2 by the looks of it. So Eaglin makes that pass. Gonna set sail after Daniel Mills, who just made a mistake at the end of the whoops, and the top five have a bit of a gap. Bob Joe settles into sixth. Alex Kerr down in seventh. Going to lose a few positions here. Definitely fall outside of a transfer spot. Tough look there for the Kerman. Jeremy Seebold, our second fastest qualifier here tonight, going through. Matthias Janis, Seth Shirley, Rasmus Balzer, Tyler Lang, Ethan Parks also finding their way by. This is 7th, 8th, and 9th right here on your screen. Parks, Lang, and Balzer. Ooh, Balzer, nice move on Lang. Kind of caught the 5 sleeping there a little bit. Now going to try the 3-4-1 to the inside here on Parks, and Parks cases the quad out, so that's going to be a pass done for Balzer. Parks might lose a transfer spot right here as Seth Shirley pulls alongside, and the 23 machine gets it done. Dualies in the background between Seebold and Janis as Ethan Parks get railroaded right here. These guys all going on by. But look at this absolute freight train with Seth Shirley holding on to the final transfer spot, but Jeremy Seebold wants it. The 2020 MotoOption Supercross champion putting some heat on Shirley ahead of him. Oh, Shirley casing that triple. Seebold, no question, going to be sensing an opportunity here. Let's see. He cuts down. He does the alternate line. Does it work here? 4-4-1 to the inside. Yeah, gets that pass done. PSA, if you are not doing 4-4-1 in that first rhythm section, you are losing time. The eye test is no longer proof. Riders are making passes there. So Seebold into the final transfer spot now behind Lang. Balzer down at the end of the rhythm section. So that will remove Shirley back in the final transfer spot, or will it? Janis is trying to make that pass. Bar to bar into the corner, but Janis looks like he got the pass so far. Shirley fighting back. Lang down at the end of the whoops. So T-Lang goes from transfer to out. Just like that. And Seth Shirley now in the final transfer spot. Ethan Parks, first man on the outside looking in. 147 machine getting back after it, and Shirley goes over the bars. Huge. Ethan Parks literally tire taps him as he's front flipping and stays on 2 wheels. So that's Parks back into the final transfer spot for the time being. Oh, and down as well, that is Jeremy Seebold. So the 18 machine also crashing, and everybody's finding their way to the ground here in this heat race. That moves Yannick Schroeder into the final transfer spot as he's trying to join his teammate on the JIBR.co KTM team, Nick Sellen, as 2 riders go into the main event. Meanwhile, back up to the front, it is still Hubbard leading us around the racetrack right here. 5 minutes and 17 seconds have come and gone, so we got about 40 seconds left on the clock, plus a lap, which means this time by should be 2 to go for these guys. And Hubbard, aside from that little mistake we saw when we just clicked onto him, riding silky smooth out front. Nick Sellen through the whoops here in second, starting to deal with a little bit of pressure from behind. You can see Daniel Mills there on the number 15 Jack Daniels Racing Honda, closing that gap down. Mills has been very hot and cold this year. Definitely a season in which it doesn't appear he's putting the same level of effort that he has perhaps in the past when he was a borderline title contender in the 250 East Division last year. Now, just trying to be a regular main event guy again. In a good position here, trying to work his way into second, and has slowly been catching Nick Sellen this whole time. Sellen just tucks the front end, and Mills is going to get that second position away from the German. Meanwhile, Colby Eaglin on the 24 Panini Motorsports Yamaha team moving his way into the picture as well. He's trying to knock on the door for a potential second place finish as well, with Jeremy Smith behind these guys. Now Sellen going back to work on Mills as they go over the finish line, jump into the next corner. Mills goes for the block pass to keep Sellen behind him. White flag is out. 3 riders going at it for second place. Eaglin, you saw him maybe take a peek to the inside right here, but elected to back out of it. Get Sellen again, thinking about that inside line, but not quite close enough. Nose heavy right there. Everybody still be able to quad right here. Sellen, to the inside, and he and D-Mills both go down. Eaglin gets into second place. But they're all still chasing this man, and it looks like they'll be chasing him the whole way home. Got the whole shot, going to lead every single lap. Just the way that you would draw it up normally. Jumps off the track right here before the finish line, but all is said and done in the end. Jacob Hubbard wins 450 heat number 2. It will be Colby Eaglin coming across in second, Nick Sellen in third, Daniel Mills in fourth, Jeremy Smith in fifth, Bob Joe back here in sixth spot looking good to go, Matthias Janis seventh, Lang eighth, and Yannick Schroeder in ninth. But Balzer, Seth Shirley, and a few other riders trying to close it down here. One straightaway to go. Balzer's going to get a great drive into this corner. Schroeder a sitting duck. Balzer going to send it into the whoops. He's kind of hopping a little bit. Oh, they get together, and Balzer goes down. Schroeder goes down, and Shirley hops between them both to go to the main event. So Shirley by 1.9 over Seabolt, Balzer, Schroeder, Davis, Gable, Parks, Donovan, Kerr, Shields, Cavacuti, Cooper was your running order, but it is going to be confirmed. Seth Shirley going to the main event. There's actually a lot of cuts for everybody outside of the top 9 right there, so things did shuffle around a little bit. But man, crazy little finish right there. It was this man right here that got it done. Jacob Hubbard wins the final heat race of the night. So coming up next, well, it's the fun time. Last chance qualifiers going to the line here in Foxborough. These riders will be going 5 minutes plus a lap, and only 4 riders go to the main event out of these LCQs. This is quite literally the last chance to qualify for the main event. Everybody else that doesn't make it out of this one goes home early tonight in Foxborough. And we'll see who are those final 4 spots in both classes in just a few moments. Just getting a little bit of water in me. Apologies for the momentary delay. But hey, this is a reminder to all you folks at home, stay hydrated. Getting closer to those summer months where, I mean, hydration is already key. You got to drink water to stay alive. But, you know, get some H2O in that system. Keep it flowing. Tell you what, there's going to be 18 people in these LCQs that are going to need some water after this to rinse themselves of the atrocities of not making a main event. All right, 250 LCQ lineup check on the track right now. Blake Franklin, Jason Stubbs, Zach Fisher, Timmy Briscoe, Nathan McLaughlin, Ryan Fleming, Christopher McPherson, Caden Speck, Jake Fisher, Chase Blakely, Brett Thomas, Cody Senega, Austin Bridges, Hayden Stevenson, Austin Bear, Evan Holt, Seth Carr, and Tanner Rogers going to the line with only 4 riders able to make it into the main event from here. So it is crunch time. These LCQs, definitely the last place you want to be. You always want to make it through the heat races if possible. So who is going to go through? Caden Speck, he's got a good spot down the inside, as does Chase Blakely. Tanner Rogers lining up more towards the box. We'll see who it works for the best. It's time to go. LCQ time in Foxborough. A couple guys, including Rogers, electing not to go for the chaotic first turn mess, and it kind of doesn't work out. Only a couple guys actually fell so far. Coming through the inside, the 35 of Seth Carr takes the race lead. So it's Carr, Caden Speck, Austin Bear, and Cody Senega in the early transfer spots, but oh man, is it going to change as Speck kind of went for the quad but backed out of the challenge. Back casing the triple. Oh, legs off immediately for the EVP Yamaha rider. Going down early in an LCQ sucks. You've got to make a lot of passes in a short period of time. Another rider going down. That is Timmy Briscoe on the 150 MSK Honda. He'll pick it up in 11th, so there's already a couple guys that went down behind him and have a lot of work still to do. He almost lands on Chase Blakely coming into the corner right there. Back to our leader, Seth Carr, out front pulling away. Austin Bear in second, McPherson in third, Rogers up to fourth, so the strategy worked. Letting everybody go, funneling in behind. He's going to get around 317 of Christopher McPherson Jr. there. Bowser, no, it's Nathan McLaughlin, excuse me, closing up behind him with Caden Speck. Look at this. They're going to triple on by, perhaps? No, not quite. McPherson holds on. 317. The final transfer spot, Caden Speck hitting the back of McLaughlin and going down. Look at that line from McLaughlin, busting a quad. But again, having to pop the table over single into the corner, you just get too much airtime right there. McPherson a little short on the triple into the corner, and McLaughlin putting the pressure on. This is not a battle for the final transfer spot, though. These guys are in third and fourth already. So perhaps they will just settle into a pace, not worry too much about passing one another, and more focus on going forward and keeping Tanner Rogers close. Oh, big off. McLaughlin down out of fourth. So battle for the final transfer spot now turns into Blakely versus... I can't tell who that is. It's not allowing me to select who it is. It was Austin Bridges. Austin Bridges and Chase Blakely going down puts Timmy Briscoe back into a transfer spot. He's up to fourth. .104.1 for Briscoe, 103.9, a 59.8, and a 102 flat. So Rogers fastest rider on the track, and it's not close. Up to McLaughlin, Bear, Blakely, and the rest of them to put in the work and close the gap down on the two riders in third and fourth. Otherwise, they will be headed home and their nights will be done. See Blakely just slowly pushing up to Bear. He's trying to push Bear forward as well. And they're starting to close that gap down. Third through seventh, basically running nose to tail now. So our two leaders are gone. It really comes down to this battle for third on back of who's going to the main event tonight. And we got to change for position. Timmy Briscoe goes into third around Christopher McPherson Jr. McPherson starting to struggle a little bit. Could the pressure be getting to the 317 machine as Nathan McLaughlin and Austin Bear with Chase Blakely right behind them, working on closing up. McPherson not hitting all of his marks, and McLaughlin starting to take advantage and really close that gap down. McPherson going for that 2-3 into the corner to hold steady as McLaughlin got close, but not close enough. Austin Bear shows a wheel down the inside for fifth. But again, no pass made just yet. It's still McPherson in the final transfer spot. Oh, looks like Seth Carr just went down with the lead, so Rogers takes over. That might push Seth Carr back into this battle. Oh, Bear and Blakely were both down, as making the pass for the final transfer spot is McLaughlin. It took a while. McPherson kept making little mistakes, but finally, McLaughlin goes through to get into the final transfer spot. Now, can he hold on? McPherson's going to sit back here and hope he's got another shot. 102.1 to a 105.7 last time by. McLaughlin has the pace, but it's more about staying on two wheels than it is about running good lap times. He's electing to go for the easy 2-3-3 into the corner option as well. Just keeping it simple. Don't want to make a drastic mistake here towards the end. Tanner Rogers, good recovery. Shows the right line off the start as well. And will come through to win the 250 LCQ here tonight. Seth Carr going to pick up a second. Timmy Briscoe nearly getting taken down by a lapped rider for some reason will get third. And Nathan McLaughlin will end up in fourth. So McPherson just didn't have the pace tonight, really, is what it boiled down to. Few too many mistakes and not fast enough in the end. Austin Bear, Evan Holt, Brett Thomas, Zach Fisher, Chase Blakely, Cody Senega, Blake Franklin, Caden Speck, Hayden Stevenson, Austin Bridges, Jake Fisher, Ryan Fleming, Jason Stubbs. Also all not heading to the main event tonight as well. So it's just those four guys out front that made it through, and Tanner Rogers stamping his ticket to the main event with authority. Cuts are in, and nothing did change inside of that top four. So Nathan McLaughlin goes to the main event. He can also breathe a sigh of relief there as well. All right, 450 LCQ time coming up. And there are some big names going to the line here in this one. But fortunately for his sake, not Braden Carter. It was dire straits there in that heat race, though. He almost found himself in this LCQ. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's 450 LCQ time coming up. Final qualifying race of the night, and then it is on to the big points-paying main events in just a few moments. So sit tight. Do not click to another tab. Don't you go to a different website. This is the place to be to catch all the fun action here tonight for round 15 of MotoOption Supercross in MX Simulator. All right, going to the line here in this last chance qualifier. Chris Post, Caleb Hall, Matt Cromie, Aaron Rockefeller, Tyler Shields, Trevor Burns, Casey Cochran, Rasmus Balzer, Alex Kerr, Chase Donovan, Ethan Parks, Yannick Schroeder, Alec Horn, Jeremy Siebold, Braden Castellaneta, Charles Gable, and Jeff Cooper. It is crunch time here in Foxborough. The chopping block is on, and only 4 riders are about to make it through to the main event here tonight for round 15. Here we go, 450 LCQ. Wow, what a jump for Aaron Rockefeller. Then he gets absolutely teed up by Rasmus Balzer, I believe it was, into that first corner. 37 machine did not touch the brakes, and Alec Horn is going to come out with the race lead. Cochran right there in second. Ethan Parks getting put on the ground by Alex Kerr going into the second corner. Unless I'm missing something, it is not a red flag. Balzer going straight into that first corner was a bit egregious in my opinion. He left the brakes way too late, but sometimes that happens, and poor old Aaron Rockefeller, who had a great start, got absolutely shafted in the end. So the front runners early on, Cochran, Horn, Kerr, and Casey Ohlert, but Ohlert just slid out. So Davis is going to go by. Balzer ends up on the pretty side of this whole thing in 5th place and only has 1 more position to gain to make the main event. So I guess strategy-wise, hey, bowling ball the first corner and it ends up working in your favor anyway. As he is now working on Devin Davis for that 4th and final transfer spot. You can see most people electing to go left quad. Just seems faster. Just seems the way to go if you can make that line work. And Balzer now getting the preferred line through here. Going to pull up alongside Devin Davis to the outside. Davis goes defensive inside, but it doesn't matter. Balzer gets it done. Cross jump, and they both go down heavily. Oh my goodness, that cross jump was insane. So Burns goes into the final transfer spot. Castellaneta now setting outside, looking in 5th spot. Siebold 6th, Chris Post in 7th, but Posty down the inside trying to avoid Castellaneta, who was down, almost got into Siebold. They're hopping through the whoops. Burns went down, so Siebold goes to the final transfer spot, I believe. Yes, he does. So things are getting flipped upside down as it looks like Balzer was down again. And Chris Post still lurking back here behind Siebold. Siebold going to work on Alex Kerr just ahead of him. Kerr riding Daniel Mills' 450 because I guess the Jack Daniels Racing team doesn't have one for Kerr. But anyway, Siebold now right behind. Look at that line from Post. Oh, if he could have quadded, he would have easily made a pass on maybe both of them. Settles in behind, though, and Siebold's still working on Kerr. They triple their way through. Wow, Kerr busting the quad. Ends up hopping deep into the corner. This is kind of allowing Post really to get into the picture here. 96 machine, good run in the whoops, too. And now Kerr has a small bit of breathing room to work with. But Seabolt is still right on his heels here and being pushed all the while by Chris Post as well. So everyone going left, quad, single. Seabolt not able to get the quad, nor did Post though. Oh, down was Kerr, and there goes Post into third. Davis comes flying in. He goes down. He's going to get up into fifth as Seabolt picks himself up. Here comes Ethan Parks as well. He's jumping into the rhythm behind these guys, and suddenly this fight got very interesting between everybody. Look at Parks to the inside, almost taking Seabolt out as Davis goes front flipping into the corner. So Posty up into third. Kerr now finds himself in fourth with Seabolt fifth and Parks in sixth. Seabolt, can he close the gap down to Alex Kerr ahead of him for the final transfer spot? 1 minute remains on the clock. And if you're Ethan Parks here, you are just hoping these two take each other out going for that final transfer spot. And you just get to scoot on by and laugh. Seabolt, boy oh boy, the 20 champ. Oh, gets into him and they're both off the bike. There goes, that is the opportunity that Parks had. And he gets stuck on the inside, tough block. How do you make that mistake? Oh my goodness. Well, now Burns gets back into the picture as Seabolt goes into the final transfer spot. Burns is right there. You got Kerr, you got Davis, you got Parks. You got one of the Underground RC Suzuki riders. It might be Rockefeller. Burns makes a mistake and Seabolt gets a bit of breathing room. And they've caught Chris Post, who's in third. So Horn with an 11-second lead. Another 11 seconds back to Chris Post. As Cochran sits in second. Oh, Burns gets into the side of Kerr. Not for a transfer spot, though. They are still trying to run Seabolt down with 2 laps to go this time by. Burns, Parks, Hall. It's actually Caleb Hall, excuse me, not Rockefeller, who's the Underground RC Suzuki back here. And Seabolt getting a gap established, keeping Chris Post honest in front of him. Burns almost into the back of Kerr. You got Caleb Hall going down. Oh, Kerr now goes down. So it's up to Burns and Parks to try to run down Seabolt and Post, who are really close together here, but don't really need to pass each other. Step on, step off for Post. Outside, wow, Seabolt getting ran in high by Posty right there. It's now Parks, the only rider that is close anymore. So it looks like Burns went down maybe after the Supercross triple there. But these guys have enough of a gap that they really don't need to worry about it. It's a 6-second gap back to Parks. If anybody goes down, Parks is sliding through, but these two really just need to ride it out at this point. Not make any drastic mistakes here on the last lap of the race. Seabolt is really biding his time, trying not to run into the back of Chris Post. Meanwhile, out front, haven't talked about him the entire race, but quietly has put together a very solid LCQ performance. Alec Horn wins 450 LCQ in Foxborough. Cochran second, looking to be solid there. Post in third. Seabolt made a mistake coming into this rhythm section. Doesn't look like it is going to matter. These guys have lost a lot of ground behind them. So pretty much a free run at this point through the whoops and the triple afterwards. Both get through cleanly. And Post goes to the main event with Seabolt. Caleb Hall, Ethan Parks through the whoops here. Chase Donovan, Yannick Schroeder, Aaron Rockefeller, Matt Cromie, Trevor Burns, Alex Kerr, Rasmus Balzer, Devin Davis, Braden Castellaneta, Jeff Cooper, Casey Ullert, Tyler Shields, Charles Gable. All not heading to the main events either tonight, as the top 4 remain the same. So Horn with the LCQ dub. Gonna lead through Cochran, Post, and Seabolt. to join him in the main event. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the 250 East main event here from Foxborough. A championship potentially is on the line. Tyron Tomic enters this race 7 points up on Bryce Whelan. If Whelan has a dreadful main event and finishes outside of the top 15, Tomic simply needs to win. Well, simply. It's not easy to win, but if he does win and an outside of the top 15 performance by Bryce Whelan, Tomic is your champion on the season. So Whelan, he is trying to claw those points back. Slowly but surely, he has gotten this thing as close as it is to this point, and he won his heat race kind of convincingly as well, while Tomic struggled to barely make it out of the heat race in 8th position. So momentum certainly flowing in the side of Bryce Whelan. These are the only 2 riders left alive in this championship hunt at this point. And it is going to be very interesting to see how this main event plays out. The penultimate round of the 250 East Championship coming up right now here on Start Your Systems. All right. No, Brody, I am not going to Denver, but I will be at Salt Lake City. If anybody's going to be at Salt Lake City, always fun to run into fine folks at the races. And then trying to go to as many nationals as I can this year. All right. Lineup check. 250 East main event here at Foxborough. Ethan Gerst, Bryce Whelan, Seth Carr, Carson West, Brandon Holmes, Tanner Rogers, Brett Powers, Tyron Tomic, Trent Adams, Jeff Giffen, Frank Jackson, Cade Matherly, Lane Wofford, Timmy Briscoe, John Heilman, Tristan Powell, Noah McLaughlin, Johnny Padani, Buddy Parker. Almost got through everybody. It is on. Here we go, folks. Strap in. This is going to be fun to watch. 250 main event. And it's all here to play for. Tomic versus Whelan. Let's go in Foxborough. Well, the 45 got a great jump up the inside, but a inside move by Gerst gets him the RaceFactorGaming.com Whole Shot Award, but Whelan goes to the front. He has put himself exactly where he needs to be here tonight as he leads early on. We'll continue to look at where Tomic settles into the early runnings, but I have not seen the 42 machine just yet. Looks like he might be in about 6th or 7th. So Whelan leads and already has a bit of a gap established behind him. Tomic moves into 5th place by the looks of it back there in the background. We'll go back and check in just a moment. It's Matherly 2nd, Rogers 3rd, Adams 4th, and Tomic goes down on Trent Adams. Oh, this is huge. And he's stuck under several riders. He was in a terrific position, and Trent Adams just slid out coming into the corner. Tomic is going to pass back 4 or 5 guys through the whoops and put himself in a pretty good position here again. 8th spot. Could have been so much worse, but wow, what a turn of events right there at the end of the first lap. So Whelan from Matherly. And Whelan looking for his 3rd consecutive victory as he claws these points back. It is down to whether or not Tomic can limit the damage at this point Got a lot of racing left to go. On board with Tomic early on as we settle in. He's got a freight train of riders behind him. He cannot afford to crash right now. He will let almost the entire field go by if he does. I kid you not. Look at this group of riders behind him. A couple riders going down on the face of the triple jump right here. Timmy Briscoe going down as well. But Tomic has to try to settle into a pace right here. Uh-oh. Hopping through the whoops. Got to be careful. 32 of Frank Jackson also made a mistake, so Tomic is going to gain a position regardless. Carson West goes through behind him, up to 7th. So he's got about a straightaway and a half to race leader Bryce Whelan. And again, about limiting damage, a 7-point advantage in the championship. If he finishes 4th or worse, he will at minimum share, if not lose the red plate going into the finale, which is an east-west showdown, mind you. So he has got to try to limit the damage right now because he needs some leeway at that east-west showdown if possible. Frank Jackson falling off a little bit, so P7 right now for Tomic. Continue to track his progress. Brandon Holmes, Noah McLaughlin, Seth Carr, Cade Matherly, Tanner Rogers moving up into 2nd place. So Phil's 1-2 right now with a Stance Honda rider completing a Honda podium sweep at the moment. They're all chasing the 45 machine of Bryce Whelan. Man, 2 weeks ago when we were coming into the St. Louis Triple Crown, you could argue that this championship was already getting out of reach a little bit. Tomic had a full race distance lead in this championship and really had not put too many feet wrong through the early stages of this series as well. But something has changed in the Australian, and he has been a little bit of a different rider here in the second half of this championship. And Bryce Whelan caught fire at the exact time he needed to as well. Winning in St. Louis, winning in Atlanta. Now he's leading the main event in Foxborough. Hopping through a little bit in the whoops right there, but man, oh man, talk about flipping the tide. This would be a crazy comeback title if he's able to get it done. Got to keep an eye on Tanner Rogers, though, running in 2nd place. They are teammates, so I'd be curious to see how he races him, whether he's a bit fairer with him or not. But Rogers right now is the fastest rider on the track at 59.2. He's been slowly running Whelan down just a little bit. He's doing this line as well, which not many of the 250 guys have been doing, but he's going to case it bad right there. That'll cost him some time. So it went from about 1.5 to 4 seconds like that. And Matherly sensing a bit of an opportunity to close up. It's Seth Carr in 4th, McLaughlin 5th, Holmes 6th, and here comes Tomic in 7th. 101.6 for the Australian. We just have a change for the lead? No. Or someone's down. Can't see who that is. One of the I-Spec riders, perhaps. Either way, Tomic back here has been slowly reeling that gap back down just a little bit to P5 and P6 on the track ahead of him. .2-second lead for Whelan. It's coming down again. Rogers is starting to reel in his teammate again out front. McLaughlin and Holmes battling for 5th spot ahead of Tomic right now, and Holmes might be taking that position away. McLaughlin comes firing in, and they both go down. That's going to help Tomic as he goes to 5th. So not sure what's going on between these two. They're not teammates. Limited decal for McLaughlin, undefinedlifestyle.com for Holmes, and that looked a bit wild the way that they came into that corner. Frank Jackson was able to skirt into the mix, and he's also going to go around McLaughlin as both of them are seemingly just recovering from whatever just happened. So that moves Tomic into 5th. Next up for him would be Seth Carr, 3 seconds up the road, and it's slowly coming back to him a little bit. Matherly in 3rd is just ahead of Seth Carr, and Matherly's only 2 seconds behind Rogers, who's losing more and more time as the laps click by to Bryce Whelan. So Whelan hasn't really found the thick of the lap traffic just yet. We're only 6 minutes into this 15-minute plus 1 lap main event. But Rogers starting to lose a little bit of touch with Whelan ahead of him. He's doing this line right here, which when he gets it done cleanly, should gain him some time back, but he did not get it clean right there. And now falling back to about 8 seconds down. So Whelan starting to get into a bit of a zone here where he can even start pushing the pace and trying to extend the gap, because even if he were to crash, he might still have a shot at retaining the lead. Fall-off crashes usually somewhere in the range of 8 to 12 seconds, depending on the severity of the crash. And a fall-off crash, anyone of you out there new to MotoOption Supercross, it's just when your legs fall off the bike. You can't actually have your hands fall off the bike in this game, so your legs fall off the bike, the rider comes to a stop, eventually his legs slowly come back on the bike and pick the bike back up. And the longer you roll or the longer you flip, the longer the fall-off crash will be. So when you have a fall-off crash, you want to just come to a stop immediately. Just no movement whatsoever. Let the guy pick his legs back up on the bike and continue on in the shortest time frame as possible. But also, guys are so good these days. Kind of rare sometimes we even see fall-off crashes. Oh, Seth Carr had to really seat bounce the triple right there and shorted it. So here comes Tomic, trying to at least leave here tonight in a tie with Whelan. And a fourth place in this main event would do it. Up the inside of Carr for position, near contact with the 35. So fourth place for Tomic is 19 points. He has a 7-point advantage in this championship. And with a 26-point victory for Whelan going on out front, that is a completely even 7-point swing to finish fourth. And they would go into the finale dead tied on points. So Tomic would love to make this pass and then some on Seth Carr. Look at this. Might be thinking inside. Nope, backs out the challenge, goes outside. Look at this, though. Pulls up alongside, bar to bar. Going to the outside right here. Carr's going to go defensive on the inside, and it works. Rider down, but it was not for position. I don't believe any of those were for position. Oh, it was. It was Cade Matherly. Cade Matherly goes down out of second. So Tomic is in fourth, trying to go into third. Excuse me, Matherly out of third. Rogers is still second. He's 6 seconds up on these two right here. And Tomic working on Seth Carr for the final podium spot. So provisionally speaking, they are in a dead tie, Whelan and Tomic. But if Tomic can make this pass, he would get 2 points back in his favor, go into the finale with a 2-point advantage, which really ultimately is a dead tie. But Tomic is going down. He's off the bike and he's down. Seth Carr also went down. Tomic is going to pick it up in time to not lose a position as he jumps over Seth Carr and goes into third place. Oh, but he's in freak-out mode a little bit. Calm down, calm down. Gotta get back into a normal breathing routine here. He's got Matherly right behind him. He's got Seth Carr right there as well. But he's up to third, so he is provisionally back into the championship lead. 5 minutes left, and that one lap, and Tomic has got to try to settle into this pace right here. Matherly got close and goes down. Got the end of the whoops wrong right there, so Seth Carr goes by. Noah McLaughlin has fought his way into the picture here. And now he's trying to go through into fourth place around Seth Carr. That is only going to help Tomic as he's trying to get away, but he's off the side of the track. Tomic rejoins right underneath Seth Carr, back in fourth place again. And he's down immediately, legs off, landing on the table, and he's down. So he's going back to fifth, back to sixth, back to seventh. Frank Jackson is right behind him in eighth. Tomic is watching the championship lead slip from his grasp. And now he's definitely going to really be freaking out if he wasn't already. Inside move, trying to get back into sixth place here, but he has to double, and he gets hit, and he's down again. So Jackson goes by. He's sixth now. That's Padani going to seventh. Brandon Holmes will pick it up in eighth. And Tomic now going to go to 8th around Brandon Holmes. But the damage has been done. Tyron Tomic going from a position where he would retain the red plate, they'll lose some points to Bryce Whelan, to now no longer even retaining the red plate. Bryce Whelan is in a position where he will go into the finale at Salt Lake City as the championship leader. Tyron Tomic has to do something. Padani, Jackson, Matherly, and McLaughlin with Seth Carr still kind of nose to tail, but they're a little ways now ahead of Tomic. About 4 or 5 seconds up the road. And we only have 3 minutes and a lap left to go. Tomic is falling apart a little bit here right in front of our eyes in Foxborough. And a championship lead that he has held essentially from the second round is almost completely up at this point. As he does make a pass on Frank Jackson, that'll help his case. Now up into 7th. Still trying to pop that triple to the corner and does. P4. P4 is what he has to be thinking. Just hope he gets there. Padani 6th, Matherly 5th, McLaughlin 4th. That is where he wants to get to. But, I mean, man, they are almost 2 whole straightaways ahead of him at this point. And Seth Carr in 3rd. Rogers is still 2nd. Hey, battle for the lead. Hasn't been talked about much, but Whelan is not that far ahead of his teammate. .58.7 last time by for Rogers. He's upped his pace. Wow, and just avoided Brandon Holmes. 1.4 seconds is the gap. Rogers is going for it. Doesn't care that Bryce Whelan is his teammate, it seems. He wants to win this main event. He just made a huge mistake. So too did Whelan. He didn't really get that corner too well. So Rogers going to jump off the track right here. So he will regroup and try to go back after his teammate out front. We have just over a minute left. Brandon Holmes being lapped right here, not really moving out of the way. He did move once already. So I guess you could say he's just trying to fight to hold position at this point. But boy, oh boy, those guys really going into it. Uh-oh, Whelan a mistake. Not going to get the Supercross triple. Has to roll double. Chris Post or Nick Tomasunis, I should say, jumping over top of him. And Whelan's making a lot of mistakes right here. So what looked to be perhaps a foregone conclusion of a race victory for the 45 machine is anything but. Anna Rogers is hitting his marks behind him and hitting this rhythm section clean as well. Look at this. Rogers right on Whelan for the lead. So does he try to pass him, or is he just pushing his teammate? Whelan a little mistake. Rogers is right there. And they will likely be coming to the white flag. It's close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and mark. Whelan is getting the white flag right there. So white flag in the air. Rogers trying to close it down to win this main event. And steal one under the nose of his teammate, but he's down. Rogers with a front end tucking off the bike. Bryce Whelan can breathe easier, but he's also sliding out right here. Not out of the woods just yet. Tomic is still in 9th and doesn't look to be improving. Well, like I said, Whelan caught on fire at the perfect time. Tomic has slowly been fading and losing a grip on this championship. And now it is finally fully come unglued. But for the 3rd week in a row, Bryce Whelan is going to get it done. He's just going to double single into the corner. Here it is, 3 wins in a row. Bryce Whelan gets it done in Foxborough. Rogers will cross the line in 2nd. And Noah McLaughlin, is this going to be the first podium for the limited decal ride? This is awesome to see for McLaughlin as he hits the whoops one more time. Triples into the corner. And Noah McLaughlin has himself a podium in Foxborough, and he is pumped. Cade Matherly fourth, Seth Carr will round out the top five. Johnny Padani and Frank Jackson going at it for sixth. It'll be Padani sixth, Jackson seventh, Heilman eighth, and Tyrant Tomic, as long as he stays on two wheels, will get ninth. Cuts are in. Tomic remains ninth. Whelan confirmed as the winner. Unofficially, that is a 12-point swing. Bryce Whelan has a 5-point advantage in the championship going into the showdown in Salt Lake City in 2 weeks' time. The plates will be red on the Phil Ski and Snowboard Honda when we come back in Salt Lake City. Incredible turn of events. Wow. Can't believe it. Tyron Tomic's championship lead has completely gone. And Bryce Whelan is your new championship leader with 1 round to go. 5 points in it. That is going to be fun. You will not want to miss the Salt Lake City Showdown in 2 weeks' time. But what you will also not want to miss is this 450 main event coming up. You thought the 250 championship was good. Well, the 450 one, let me tell you about it, folks. Reigning champion Braden Carter with an 8-point advantage on 2018 champ Alexis Leclerc, and they have been exchanging blows in recent weeks. Leclerc held the championship lead through much of the first half of the season, then coughed it up at the Detroit round, which was round 10 of the championship, over back to Braden Carter. Carter has taken the championship lead back. He had it for a couple weeks. Not the greatest race last time out at Atlanta, and Leclerc was able to take the victory. It was starting to look like Carter might be able to get away a little bit, but Leclerc fought back, and now just 8 points between it. Well, chat, who we got? 317 live folks here tonight. Let's see what you guys think is going to happen. Will Braden Carter extend his championship lead? Will he win this race? Or will Alexis Leclerc fight back and win his second race on the trot and close this championship fight back down? Or we're going to see a different winner tonight. T. Lang, he's got 2 wins on the year. Could he make it a third? Payson Johnson, he's looked fast all night, but he's also found the ground a lot. Colby Eaglin has had a bit of a midseason lull. He's trying to fight back late in this championship. Boy, oh boy. A lot of ways this thing could go. And we're about to find out which way it will go here in Foxborough. Forgot about the moto timer for the 250 main event, but I will have it up for the 450 main event, so apologies those of you who wanted to see the timer. All right. T-Lang, Chris Post, Logan Leitzel, Payson Johnson, Jeremy Siebold, Matthias Janis, Colby Eagland, Alex Heckman, Brandon Nygren, Seth Shirley, Braden Carter, Jeremy Smith, Daniel Mills, Nick Sellen, Casey Cochran, Dakota French, Alec Horn, Holden Cody, Bob Joe, Jack Haley, and Alexis Leclerc going to the line for round 15 of MotoOption Supercross. Coming up in just a few moments. It is get nervous time. 20 minutes plus a lap. The 15th time we have done so this season. Our only trip this far up to the Northeast. Foxborough, Massachusetts. Are you guys ready? It is time for the 15th round of MotoOption Supercross. Who's going to get the whole shot? Who's going to win the main event? Let's find out right now. Drop the gate. It's 450 main event time. Well, Hubbard, we were looking at him as Leclerc runs deep and goes wide. Jacob Hubbard, RaceFactorGaming.com, whole shot award, and goes down. Nick Sellen out front with Carter down the inside, taking the lead into turn 2. The champ is out front. Carter into the lead. Sellen settles into second behind him, and the two Runners out front trying to sprint away. Oh man, Selin had a line down the inside trying to take the lead back from Carter. He might even get it done. Carter's got to triple into the rhythm here to hold steady, but Selin's got the preferred option. Wow, how did Carter make that line onto the table work? He did though, and takes over the race lead. So Carter, Leitzel, Lang, Selin inside the top 4, trying to keep an eye on where Leclerc is. Cochran bringing up the caboose at the end of lap number 1 as Selin crosses the line in 4th. Perfect position for Braden Carter, though. This is exactly where he wanted to be at the end of the first lap here in Foxborough. And now the pressure comes onto Leclerc. He has got to fight back, make some early passes, and get his way into the mix here. Let's see where the 7 is. He is not inside of the top 10. Payson Johnson comes through in 11th at the end of the first lap. Holden Cody, Seth Shirley, Hubbard in 14th. Jeremy Smith in 15th. And finally, Alexis Leclerc in 16th. The Frenchman has it all to do. We'll go back and find him. Here he is. So he had a good start, but Hubbard beat him to the first corner. They both started sliding into the first turn, but Leclerc's front end just dove down and kept on going. Now he finds himself right here behind Jeremy Smith, going to jump on and off the table. Several riders down, so Leclerc going to gain a few more positions. He's up to 12th. So knocking on the door of a top 10 already. We still have 18 minutes left on the clock, so plenty of time for Leclerc to go to work here. Seth Shirley just ahead of this group as well on the 23. Or is it Nygren? It is Shirley on the 23. Couple of the winningest riders in MX Simulator history facing off against each other right here. Leclerc is pretty close to passing Jeremy Smith for most wins all time. Oh, but he lands on Smith and they both go down. That is really going to hurt Leclerc. He has got to do it all again, and he's going to get around Jeremy Smith, but suddenly he loses, what, 7 more positions maybe? Behind Bob Joe, who's 16th, so Leclerc back to 17th. And boy, man, the talent he's got to pass. It's not cheap talent, that's for sure. There is perennial race-winning speed, even outside of the top 10. So Braden Carter obviously going to be licking his chops at the prospect of what is going on right now. At the very least, going to leave with more points than he had in this championship if he's able to come through and win this race. But it could even be more than that, but he's down. Wow, what a weird spot. Making a huge mistake, and Lang goes to the front. So Lang, he's looking for his 3rd win of the season. Winner at Daytona and Indianapolis. Those were 2 of his first 2 career 450 Supercross victories in MotoOption Supercross. And Carter has to go back to the drawing board again. Leitzel, Johnson, Selin, top 5. Lap time check early on here. What's going on? Selin at a 58.5. Johnson at a 58.1 for his best. 58.1 Leitzel. 57.2 Carter. 58.3 Lang. So it seems like Carter, at least in the early runnings, has the speed in hand. Now the question is, will he run down Lang for the race lead? Lang just trying to hit his marks right here. One of the smoother riders in the field, really just takes his time. 58 flat for him. 56.9 Braden Carter. 57.8 Leitzel. Is Johnson going faster than these guys? Nope. 57.3, 57.7 for Nick Selin. So a quick little lap time check of our top 5 again, and Carter's still fastest on the track. Alec Horn, Janice, and Haley behind these guys, but Haley just went down, and we find Alexis Leclerc once again. He has now moved into 11th, working on Bob Joe for 10th. Going to go down the inside and just punt Bob Joe to the ground. And, I mean, if you're Leclerc at this point, it is desperation mode. You need every position you can get, any single way that you can take it. And next on his list would be 2020 Supercross champion Jeremy Seebolt. These two have a little bit of a history, but they're also, as far as I know, close friends off the racetrack. So don't think that Seabolt's going to race too rough with Leclerc, nor will Leclerc with Seabolt. And perhaps they'll just link together and push forward, as Leclerc has now found his way into the top 10. He'll be hoping, of course, that Lang can hold on and win this race out front, and Carter is not able to get back and steal a few more of those points back in his favor. Seabolt now behind Casey Cochran, who is in 8th. Matthias Janis has slid his way into 7th. Alec Horn, fresh out of the LCQ victory, runs in 6th. Nick Sellen still inside the top 5. Johnson and his unique lines. Let's see, is he yet to do the 3-4-5 over here, or is he even trying it? Let's see. Yeah, he's going to the outside. Let's see. So he's trying to triple in here and not doing it. So then bouncing off and off right there is a weird combo, but he's doing it that way so that in the odd chance he triples in super cleanly at the start of the rhythm section, he is able to then bust the 4-5 after it, and he's closed up on Logan Leitzel ahead of him. So battle for third beginning to commence here. Leitzel has held a position for some time, but Johnson now seeking the opportunity to go through. 4-4-1. Everybody pretty much has figured out that line by this point. Johnson, not the preferred line right there. So a little bit of breathing room again for Leitzel, but Johnson able to go to the inside right there and not lose too much time. Let's see if he goes outside here. Lang was down. Leader was down. So T. Lang picking it up in second place now, right ahead of Johnson. Carter back to the lead. So T. Lang tosses away the race lead. Not sure if he and Carter got together. It's close enough that they may have actually been battling, but we'll see. Either way, Johnson now eyeing up a pass for second. Got a nose in there, but couldn't quite make it happen. Seabolt just had a save and a half behind these guys, as Leclerc has now moved into 8th spot. Lang electing to go on-off quad double still, whereas you can see that line that Johnson's taking looks to be a bit faster. Oh, Johnson legs off too deep into the rollers. So he will lose at least one position, maybe two. Let's see. Sellen goes by for third, and here comes Nygren, but that's not for position. So Leitzel, Leitzel into Nygren, and he gets dragged to the ground. He has the legs off. Is that Janis and Alec Horn getting together? Leclerc flips over and goes down. He just ran into Alec Horn, and then they flipped around right there. So Leclerc just had made it up into almost 7th, now back to 12th. It just is not his night right now. And things are still turning up aces for Carter out front. So here is the reigning champion. As we approach the halfway point of this race, I'll do something I don't normally do, but since things are kind of spread out already, let's go ahead and give you guys a run through the field. And tonight it's brought to you by mxlocker.com, the marketplace for motocross, backing us here for the streams for the remainder of the season. So shout out to mxlocker.com. Thanks so much for the support. Braden Carter on his Fizzski and Snowboard Honda leads the way, the number 1 machine out front. Second place for T. Lang on the Underground RC number 5 machine. Third, Payson Johnson, new this week on the iSpec Honda. Payanini Spec is what he's running for his name. But he's in third. Nick Sellen, JIBR.co getting past right now. Matthias Janis is, wow, Leitzel came in like a rocket ship down the inside. Almost took them both out. But Janis goes to 4th on his Underground RC number 14 machine. 5th now, Nick Sellen, JIBR.co number 97. 6th, Colby Eaglin, Panini Motorsports number 24. 7th for Jeremy Seabolt, number 18, Payanini Spec Honda. Alexis Leclerc now finds himself in 8th. on the Safe Moon backed by Panini Motorsports Yamaha. Logan Leitzel in 9th, rides for Adept Creative Co. And 10th for Seth Shirley on the Boots House Yamaha number 23. Cochran, Horn, Mills, Hubbard, Joe inside the top 15. Smith, French, Cody, Haley, and Post inside the top 20. And Alex Heckman and Brandon Nygren bringing up the caboose in 21st and 22nd. That is a run through the field brought to you by mxlocker.com. All right, where are the battles? Well, Nick Sellen just got back around Matthias Janis for 4th. A little bit of a battle right there, and then Sellen off the track, so Janis is going to get it right back. And that battle will continue on. Looks like Leclerc has disposed of Seabolt. I don't know where Seabolt is now. He's 11th, so he must have went down. And Leclerc's up to 7th. So for Leclerc at this point, the second half of this main event, it really just, again, like Tomic, comes down to damage limitation, but in kind of the opposite direction. Obviously, Tomic was defending the championship lead already. Leclerc has been trying to fight back against Carter, but 34 down to the lead with half a main event still to go. I don't think there's a chance he's going to pull points back on Carter in this race here tonight. I guess you never do know, but pretty much needs to have Carter fall off the bike 3 times and Leclerc to have no more mistakes the rest of this race for him to have a shot at getting to Carter. So he's going to control what he can control, which is go fast and try to pass the people right in front of him, like Colby Eagland, who is holding on for 6th spot right now, but might not be for too much longer if Leclerc has something to say about it. No, Leclerc, a mistake. Going to lose some time, and suddenly Logan Leitzel going to be right behind the Frenchman again. Oof, Alex Heckman was down, and Leitzel running into him a little bit there. Whoa, Leclerc bouncing through the whoops a little bit weird, but holding on to the position. All right, back to Sellen versus Janis, because this is still going hot for 3rd right now. 11-second lead for Carter. Johnson another 10 back of Lang. And then 6 back to this battle for 4th place. Janis and Sellen have been going back and forth for many laps, it seems. And finally, Sellen around the outside makes a pass happen on Janis. But will the 14 have something to say about it? Rider off track was Holden Cody, but he's a lap down. Both these guys scrubbing to the outside in this corner. Janis going for the triple in. Let's see what option he elects to take right here. Well, over and then table over single into the corners, so it doesn't work out in his favor. Loses a little bit of ground in the end to Sellen, even though he momentarily had pulled up alongside. Looks like Sellen's starting to open that gap up just a little bit now in 4th place, but he just made a mistake. All right, that inside line works to his favor. That's close still. I mean, Janis is right there. Oh, and he slides out and goes down. So Eagland will scoot by. This should be Leclerc's opportunity as well. Yes, he does go through. So Leclerc finds his way now into 6th. And looking ahead, looks like Sellen might be his furthest opportunity unless some severe crashing starts happening. The guys like Payson Johnson, Tyler Lang, and Braden Carter. Carter, meanwhile, starting to work through more of the thick version of lap traffic. Everyone kind of doubling up a little bit. You're starting to lap Alex Heckman twice, for example. Casey Cochran for the first time. And Cochran is just outside the top 10 if I remember right. So kind of running into a bit of a group here. But for the immediate future, Carter kind of in cruise control. 15-second lead. No real immediate pressure from behind. And just kind of hit his marks, do his laps. Doesn't need to push the pace, push the envelope. Manage that gap. And try to bring it home essentially on two wheels the rest of the way. Gonna alternate lines here with Cochran. Let's see, does he go for the four still? Yep, up inside. And off the track, but will rejoin just there in front of Cochran. So that's kind of the turmoils that you run into working around lap traffic. You just come across guys that are running a similar pace as you, and they don't really want to let you by. They want to try to go find somebody ahead of them as Johnson lands on Jeremy Smith, ends up going backwards. He has moved into second. Sellon is up to third. Lang's all the way back to fourth, and here comes Eagland. So Lang, who was leading this race at one point, starting to fall apart a little bit in the late stages of this one. Still have 3.5 minutes on the clock, but man, just went from second, which he was in for a very long time, to back in this Eagland-Leclerc battle, which obviously benefits Leclerc if he can get around Lang, which was a rider that arguably was out of his range just a few laps ago. But Leclerc's big picture really here is he's just trying to make as many passes as possible and doesn't mind too much how they get there, but still hasn't been able to make anything stick yet on teammate, or at least pseudo-teammate, Colby Eagland. So Leclerc will, for the time being, remain sixth. Better down, that was Chris Post. Laying on the deck. Ooh, Eagland, a mistake. Leclerc goes for the quad over. Eagland fights back up the inside, and Nick Sellon's down. So Sellon out of third, goes back to sixth. Leclerc now finds himself in fifth and could get a podium. He's got Eagland and Lang right in front of him, but he just made a big mistake in this rhythm section. Nice recovery. But there's Eagland hitting the whoops. There's Lang hitting the triple. Johnson is 10 seconds further up the road of these guys, but Lang trying to settle back into some semblance of momentum and groove here. Finds his way back onto the podium. Eagland now fourth. Leclerc now fifth, with Sellon bringing up the caboose of this train in sixth position. So does Leclerc get there? If he can at least get to third, the gap would remain at 13. Started at 8, 5-point swing if he gets to third place. And again, Eagland not hitting his marks right there in that rhythm section, so Leclerc gets closer, but not close enough. Rider down, that was Leitzel, who I believe they're lapping now, and then Seth Shirley also moving aside. And Lang is now in free air up ahead of these guys. Might help him get a little bit of breathing room. 57.4 for Leclerc, 58.1 Eagland, 57.5 Lang. So Lang actually just ran his best lap of the race last time by, and still Leclerc just hasn't been able to crack the code of Eagland. They have just been running nose to tail for I don't know, 6-7 minutes straight at this point, with no one gaining or losing. And really, Eagland, he's not really consistently, it seems like, hitting his marks or the same line over and over again, but just doing enough to keep Leclerc at bay. And they're maybe starting to push up to Lang now a little bit because they haven't been messing with each other too much these last few laps, and more just putting some solid laps together. But still, Leclerc is just sitting there in fifth and hasn't been able to figure it out yet, and time is about to expire, so this is likely 2 to go right here for Leclerc as he tries to get the job done and minimize that damage. 3 riders in screen right there: Lang, Eagland, Leclerc. 3, 4, 5 as Johnson still sits. So actually now he's right in front of Lang, so Leclerc really does have a shot at second in this race. There is Johnson. And we'll see if the 51 machine makes any more late race mistakes here as he tries to turn the afterburners on. White flag has come out. Braden Carter takes the white flag, looking to stamp his victory off here in Foxborough. Another mistake for Johnson. Lang sensing an opportunity. Eaglin closing up. Nick Sellen has gotten around Leclerc, though. Leclerc must have went down. Back to 6th place. Worst case scenario of this front group now for Leclerc. He was hoping to make some time on the guys around him, instead having to fight forward. So Johnson, at least for the time being right now, holding steady in 2nd, but he's only got a 2-second advantage on Lang. Nick Sellen has now moved up to 4th, so Eaglin crashed back to 6th. Leclerc's back into the top 5. With just a few straightaways left in this main event. Out front, though, few hiccups in the beginning, but otherwise smooth sailing the rest of the way through. This is exactly how he would have drawn it up. Braden Carter gets the huge win here tonight in Foxborough. Oh, Johnson a mistake. There's Lang. There's Lang for 2nd. Johnson's going to go to the inside, and he's going to send it. Lang reads it like a book, cuts underneath. Bar to bar into the whoops. Now Lang goes defensive into the corner. They both scrub the triple. Look at Johnson. He's going to cut underneath. It's a drag race, and it's going to be Lang by 1/10 at the line for the 2nd place on the podium. Sellen will end up 4th. Leclerc gets 5th. 1.2 down in the end. So it'll be Eagland who wraps this thing up in 6th. Whoa, big crash in the end. Seabolt going down with Janice. That might hand a position over. No, actually it'll... Yeah. No, Janice, I'm sorry, ends up in 7th. Seabolt 8th. Cochran, last rider on the lead lap, in 9th. Then it was Mills, Shirley, Hubbard, Leitzel, French, Joe, Haley, Horn, Smith, Post, Cody, Heckman, Nygren. Rest of the field running through. We got one more guy still waiting that we are trying to see. But Carter with a critical dub here tonight in Foxborough. Switches the tides back in his favor, and now really actually has a shot at wrapping the championship up early next week in Denver. Oh, Johnson does get Lang on cuts for 2nd, and Leclerc gets 4th. So Leclerc gets Sellen for 4th, which means that was only a 7-point swing instead of an 8-point swing. Not a huge shift, obviously, but 15-point advantage now for Carter going into the final 2 rounds, trying to be the first rider since Tyson Fresquez to repeat as Supercross champion in MotoOption Supercross. Has a shot next week to wrap up the title 1 round early. We'll see if he gets it done heading to Denver next week. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight at Start Your Systems. Round 15 of MotoOption Supercross in Foxborough is now behind us. Great set of main events. Wild turn of events in that 250 class, setting up a fantastic 250 East-West showdown in 2 weeks' time. Don't forget, though, 250 West standings also very, very close at the top of the table there. Casey Cochran, Luke Magnetti, all in the mix still there for the 250 West Championship. We'll see them back in action next week at Denver as well, so you will not want to miss action next week. Same time, same place, Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. Pacific, 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Big shout out to racefactorgaming.com for putting on these races. If you want more information on the series, head over to racefactorgaming.com and get involved there. Race Factor Gaming track crew, again, another fantastic track build. It seemed to race very well here tonight and was quite the challenge for a lot of people. So cool to see. Of course, huge shout out to MX Locker for backing the stream, as well as R Jerky and Hinson Clutch Components on board with us here for the broadcast this season. So thank you guys to them. And then a shout out to all the Race Factor Gaming sponsors: MotoOption Clothing, Race Tech Suspension, MXS Lobby, Underground RC, Phil Ski and Snowboard, Tagger Designs, you name it. They've been here for many years and been supporting the show as well. So thank you guys so much to them. And thank you finally to you fine folks who tune in every week and watch these races. We have 2 more to go, Denver and then Salt Lake City. We hope to see you guys for these final 2 rounds coming up. They are going to be a lot of fun. Next week, Denver, same time, same place. We'll see you guys then. So long for now.